No thumbs up. Just put your head down and close your eyes.
You're gonna whack my head into it.
Okay, so heads are down. You're closing your eyes. It's quiet. Metacognition. There's a circle. Ignore the two post-it notes for now. But inside that circle, I want you to write down what you just thought about while your head was down. Okay, so write down what thoughts were going through your mind as your heads were down and the music was playing and it was quiet. Give you about 30 seconds to kind of jot down some ideas of the thoughts that were going through your head while your head was down. Okay, so is anyone willing to share what some of their thoughts were, unless they were all in a really dark place or somewhere inappropriate or something? But can anyone share the thoughts that were in your mind during that 1 minute of quietness?
This is really weird to say this, but I was trying to decipher whether that was Five Finger Death Punch or Disturbed.
Okay, so you were focused more on the music.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And I figured I was Disturbed.
Go ahead, Dan.
I was wondering, I was trying to figure out what the words were to the song.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm a paranoid person, so I was wondering if you were going around telling everybody, okay, sit up now, and like all of a sudden the whole room was going to sit up.
And you're absolutely.
I was thinking about things to do this weekend that I need to do.
Sure. So your mind was in kind of a different place than this moment right here. Yeah. Ben.
Thinking my watch is loud, but then I was also thinking, who needs a watch anymore?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I heard this when Simon and Garfunkel sung it, and then Paul Simon performed it in SNL. SNL, that's on tomorrow. Started going down that.
So yeah, absolutely, your mind started wandering. Go ahead.
I tend to be suspicious and cognizant, always be cognizant of what people are trying to do to manipulate me.
Okay.
So I was thinking about what is the purpose that they think this is going to make me think, basically? What are they?
Sure, so you're trying to kind of maybe even get into our minds and try to figure out what we were thinking about or why we're doing this exercise. Sure. Good.
I was putting images, graphic images or storyboards of the song in my head.
Okay. Perfect. Brent?
I honestly thought it was like, it was really relaxing, and then my thought went to, am I dying?
Oh,
I'm dying, this is how I feel like, this is good. It's really relaxing.
Okay, so did anybody have the thought or the emotion of being nervous? Was anybody kind of nervous? No. How many of you felt calm, just really calm? Okay. How many of you felt like falling asleep? You? Okay. Good. How many of you, when you commute from home to work in the morning, so you go from point A to point B. For me, I start out down by Oliva Strum, and I finish up at the Energy Education Center, and then on my way home, I go from the Energy Education Center back to Oliva Strum. How many of you have a moment, and maybe on several occasions, I think I do this, where you leave point A, you get to point B, and you don't really remember point A to point B?
Scary.
Okay? Yeah, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? It's almost like your brain is kind of in autopilot a little bit, right? It's almost like your brain's in autopilot. Or if there is all of a sudden close to your house, you notice something that has always been there that you've never noticed before, right? That's happened to me too. Like, there's a house there 2 miles away from my house, and I drive this road all the time. I just never really paid attention. What do you think is really going on there? What do you think is really going on? If we can get from point A to point B and not really remember anything in between.
I thought that was fatigue.
From being tired?
Yeah.
Okay. It could be. Could be fatigue. What else do you think is going on?
Distractions, other things, thinking outside of where you are right in this moment.
Yeah, how many of us are sightseers when we're driving? Yeah, all over the place. My wife hates it when I drive because I'm looking at the fields, I'm looking at the cows, I'm looking at whatever, you know.
Repetition.
Yeah. We get so used to doing it that we don't even really think about it, right? We don't really think about it. Quick story. When I first started teaching at CBTC about 4 years ago, I was in my first year of teaching, and my commute was, like I said, from Oliva Strum, and actually at that time I was in East Annex right here on the main campus, and I made that route every day to work, every day back and forth. And one of my duties as a parent, I have 3 kids at home, one of my duties as a parent was to drop our youngest child off at daycare. My wife's a teacher, so she took care of the other 2 kids and made sure that they got to where they needed to be. So my job was to drop our youngest child off at daycare on my way to school in the morning. Point A to point B, with something in the middle, right, which was daycare. So one day I happened to make the trek from point A to point B. I pull into the parking lot. I pull into the parking lot at CBTC here and put it in park, shut it off, go to the back and realize I was getting my bag, but what did I realize? My child was still in the back. Absolutely. And that morning she had just happened to fall asleep. And so we get just kind of in such reputation or repetitiveness that we really kind of forget about point A to point B. And you'll see as our lesson goes on how we can connect to just kind of the knowing of knowing. Thinking about what you're thinking, and this term called metacognition. So, we'll turn it over to Trent from here.